Hey, algebra students, love this example because it's just another one that shows us that these GED skills, that there's just so much overlap. So yes, this is a geometry problem, but it's also an algebra problem. You can just straight up use your algebra skills. Let me show you what I mean. It says, what is the width of a rectangle with a perimeter of 16.5 inches and a length of 5.25 inches? And you might say, Kate, you haven't really taught me about rectangles or perimeter or any of this kind of geometry concepts. What am I supposed to do here? And I would say to you, don't worry. This is on the formula sheet. Even if we haven't dived deep into geometry yet, you have a chance to do this using the formula algebraically. So let's go ahead and hit up that formula sheet. So here it is, the very sheet you'll be given when you go to take the GED math test. And you can see that the first section up there are area formulas, but right under the area formulas, boom, we have some perimeter formulas. Okay, and look at the perimeter of a rectangle formula. You're going to see three letters in it, a P, an L, and a W. That stands for perimeter, length, and width. Since this formula relates those three variables, we can use it to solve for any one of them. So let's pick this one up and use this one. And let's go ahead and substitute in any known values. So what do we know? The first number we know is this one, 16.5. Don't let the fractions freak you out, okay, guys? You can do the fractions right in your calculator, or you can do what I'm about to do, which is convert. These guys are simple, so we can easily convert them into decimal form. But it is important to know what that 16.5 represents. So let's take a look. According to this, it's the perimeter. So make sure you plug it in, guys, for P. Okay, so our perimeter is 16.5. So where I once saw P, I'm going to put 16.5. Now, can you put it like this, 16.5? You sure can, but I'm lazy. It takes a while to type fractions into my calculator. I think I will call that 16.5, right? 0.5 is the same as 1/2. If you know that, you can save some time. If you don't worry about it. Put 16.5, you'll get the same answer I do. You just have to be better with your calculator. Okay, now our equal sign will stay steady. Our numbers will not change, so I'll have 2. Now, do I know the length? Let's go see. What is the width of a rectangle with a perimeter? Yep, here we go. And a length of 5.25. 5.25. Now you might say, Kate, I don't know. That is a decimal. And I would argue, yes, you do. A quarter? Think about a quarter in terms of a dollar. Like a quarter is how many cents? It's 25. So 5.25 is the same as 5.25. It's like you have $5 and a quarter. Okay. So that was my L. My plus will stay plus. My 2 will stay 2. And let's see, W. W is the mystery, the thing I'm looking for. This problem said, what is the width? In algebra, when we don't know something, we use a letter. And so that'll stay right there. Okay, now I wanted to do this example because there's a little mid-step here. There is some simplifying we can do before we start solving. You might say, what the heck are you talking about simplifying, Kate? Ignore everything else and just look at this piece of the equation. 2 times 5.25. That is straightforward computation that we know how to do. We know how to simplify it. We know how to perform the indicated operation, multiplication in this case. And if we do that, it will make our equation simpler. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do 2 times 5.25. And you can do it in your calculator, but you're going to get 10.5. And we've traded out this more complex part of the expression for a simpler version. And careful, we obeyed the symbol. And so that's just on one side. Don't let me see you doing like ×2 or something weird on the other side, okay? So here's our equivalent equation, just a little bit simpler. But now we're out of forwards math that we can do. Now it's time to start solving, working to get the letter alone. In order to do that, let's make sure that we're using opposites. Okay, we have 2 numbers to get rid of. Do you see it? There's two numbers over there with W. There's this 2 and there's this 10.5. And remember, when we're solving, when we're moving things across that equal sign using opposites, we're gonna do the order of operations backwards. So let's move anything that's adding or subtracting with W first. Okay, so that 2 is shoved up against W, it's multiplying. But this 10.5, it's separated from W with this plus sign. It is a term. It is something adding or subtracting. I will get rid of it first. I'm going to subtract it away, right? If I have 10.5, I subtract away 10.5. I'm going to zero out. And let's see what our new equivalent equation will be. And you can do this in your calculator, but 16.5 minus 10.5 will give you 6. And that's going to be equivalent or equal to, don't drop your equal sign or you've dropped your power. 10.5 minus 10.5 is just 0, and 0 plus 2W, of course, is just 2W. Anything plus 0 is just itself. And now I'm almost done. Let me just come move this over here so I have room to work underneath. W is not quite alone yet. There's a 2 hanging out. I want to get rid of it, so I'm going to do opposites. That 2 is currently multiplying, so I will divide. I can do whatever I want as long as I do the exact same operation with the exact same number to the other side. Remember, the key here is to keep the two sides equal. So if you do the same thing on both sides, the two sides will remain equal. So 6 divided by 2, what is that? That's 3. And 3 is going to be equal to whatever I get on this side. Let's see. Multiplying and dividing by 2 cancel. I just have a single solitary W. And so I just learned that W is equal to 3. Now go back to your problem to see what W represents, because we had a word problem here. We have a real life geometry problem. The original problem said, what is the width of a rectangle with a perimeter of 16.5 inches? So when I say W equals 3 or 3 equals W, I'm saying the width is 3. 3 what? 3 inches. Nice. Nice. Is it geometry? Yeah, but guess what? It's also algebra. And another thing, don't let those fractions freak you out, okay? They're just trying to throw them at you. It's just a smoke screen. It's just a smoke screen. Just breathe. Don't even let those fractions faze you. Just call on your gorgeous algebra and your gorgeous calculator skills, and you have got this.